Hi, everyone, and welcome back. I'm so happy to be back with you again this week. For those of you who don't know, last week was my first time with you. My name's Larkin, and I am actually from Cincinnati, Ohio, in the USA, and I'm so honored to be here with you guys. As usual, I have my little candle I'm going to light for us. And a lot of what I like to do is education along with readings because I believe that that is so important that we understand what is going on when we connect with the other side, that we get our own proof and validation that our loved ones and our angels and our spirit guides are really, truly with us. And our animals too, our animals who have crossed over, they're really still with us. And getting a reading is such an amazing and beautiful thing. But I believe that even more important than that is our own ability to connect and get real proof and validation for ourselves. So, I will be doing readings on here, but I'm also going to be really sharing with you how these things work and what you can do to maintain and have your own communications with your angels and your loved ones and your spirit guides on the other side and your animals. Okay, it's just completely transformed my life and the lives of so many of my clients over the years, and I want you guys to be able to have that experience as well. So one of the things that I do is I like to, especially when I'm doing a reading, is light a candle. Everything is energy, and a candle is a beautiful and amazing way. Hi, welcome. Is a beautiful and amazing way to open up that energetic side and connect with those on the other side. One other thing I do when I'm with you, at least if I'm broadcasting from home, is incense. And this is another way that if you guys are, hi Zoe, hello everyone. I will try to say hi to all of you. I'll do my best. But I want to let you guys know that incense is also another way, going to connect with this beautiful little incense holder today, is another way that you guys can help to strengthen your connection to the other side when you're wanting to speak to your loved ones or connect with them or your angels or spirit guides. This isn't necessary, but what it does is it helps to open up and cleanse an energetic field for you. It can be like a little beacon of light. It's like your own little ritual that gets you in the right mindset to connect. And although your spirit guides, loved ones, and angels and animals on the other side can always see and sense and hear and feel you, this helps you to connect. Okay. And the other thing it does is it sort of, it doesn't really alter your senses, but it gets you sort of in a different zone, right? It's sort of like the candle and the incense is sort of like a link for you and the other side. So do you have to do that to connect? No. Is it something special and sacred? If you want to set aside a special time, then that is important for you to do. Okay, guys? So thank you. So I know you guys all, people get on here because they want readings and everything, but I am going to intermix it in with this, this learning. So you guys can go off and use these things for strength and your own empowerment. One of the things that I see you guys are already asking for questions about your loved ones. So yeah, so I know you guys all want a reading, and I'm going to try to get to as many of you as I can. I just want to remind you that last week we talked about angels and spirit guides and how to connect to them and your loved ones and animals on the other side. And there were a lot of connections a lot of questions I wasn't able to get to, and I probably won't get to all of them today, but I will do my best. So if you guys also have questions about, I can help you to connect to your angels and spirit guides and loved ones. I would love those types of questions. Okay. You have so many beautiful readers on in this group. And one of the things I would like to offer you is to actually help walk alongside you and guide you to make those connections. So if you're wanting or needing and have questions about validating your loved ones or angels, spirit guides, or animals with you, I invite you to ask those questions today too. That's sort of part 2 of our angels and spirit guides work from last week. Okay. All right. Let's see here. So one of the things that does anybody have um, a question about validating the communications or connections that you're trying to get from your loved ones or your spirit guides or angels? Because last week we went into the difference and there were some great questions I didn't get to that popped up about you guys trying to figure out, oh my gosh, is this my loved one? Is this my angel? And these questions pop up really fast, guys. So I'm going to try to get to all of them, but your comments do pop up fast, even though I'm being helped with filtering them. Because I want you guys to know that I left you last week with they're always there for you. Your spirit guides and angels and loved ones are always there for you. And they can see you and hear you. And also I want to remind you guys, if you are not into StreamYard, you just pop up as Facebook user. So I think you can just put your name in there, but you also should probably try to log in through the StreamYard link so I can see who you are. Okay, Lisa, spirit guides, which one is active right now? Okay, that's a great question. And again, guys, I'm not blowing you off if you wrote a question before someone that I take. It's just that I'm just taking them as I see them. And I'm pretty thorough. And on here, the readings are just kind of quick and short so we can get through people. Okay. So, Lisa, one of the things is that if you were here last week, one of the things I shared with you is that everyone has at least one guardian angel and at least one spirit guide, but it doesn't mean that you only have one. Okay. So what I'm going to share, what I see with you and what I would encourage you to do is validate this for yourself. Okay. Not just take my word for it, but go back today and be like, oh yeah, I can feel that now. I see about 3 spirit guides very strongly around you. Most of the time, meaning the way I see them is they're more forward, right? So if, for you, you might feel or sense them differently. When I look at you, I see them in different places around you. And I see 3 that work super close to you all of the time. And then I see 2 other spirit guides that are kind of more in the background and they pop up when you are having the most difficulty. So if you're really struggling, so it might be like when you're having emotional, maybe difficult emotional times or communication issues with family, or when you've had something kind of tragic or that seems really overwhelming pop up, then those other 2, they pop in. But you have 3 that really walk by you during your everyday life all the time for everyday things, for your decision making, for helping reminding you about staying in your center and staying true to yourself and staying connected. Okay. And so those 3 are pretty, you don't just have the one, those 3 are pretty strong. They speak to you more. Well, so you all have all the different clairs, right? You all have the ability to be clairsentient, clairvoyant, which means you see. Clairsentient is feeling, clairaudient is hearing. And I get a lot that that these 3 that are super strong around you all the time, they do a lot of whispering in your ear that you might assume are your own thoughts. Okay. The other 2 are they're just as significant. They just have mildly different roles, right? They're your spirit guides are assigned to you and only you, and they are there more for, you know, helping you make that right decision if you need to get out of a bad situation, or maybe you're in, if you have something happen where, you've got to make a big decision, or it feels like an emergency. Okay. So what they're sharing with me is that actually you're interested in the other two, but what you need to do is you need to actually invite them in if you want to get to know more who they are. So you need to be able to sense them because they're with you every day of your life, right? So I would take some quiet time and I would sense the three. And then what you want to do is start sensing the difference. So those two, since their job is to really come in when you need extra reinforcements as like backup, you need to just, if you're wanting to kind of break it down and define who is who, you just need to ask them. They will answer you. It might take you a while. You might have to repeat the question. Well, you only have to ask once, but if you just keep telling them, make it obvious, sometimes you might have to hit me in the head with it. And then you just need to kind of find some alone, quiet time and sense the presences. Okay. So as we've been talking, it's like you have like the three on your right and the two on your left. So when I move on to the next reader, the next person, I want you to actually sit there and sense, okay, can I sense that? Can I sense the two energies and the three? And remember, for you, they do a lot of whispering in your ear. So you might have to, you'll start to discern the difference between who you're hearing in your head. Is it you or is it your spirit guides? And to be honest, Lisa, it doesn't really matter. As our ability to connect with our spirit guides and our loved ones gets stronger, it becomes easier and more natural, just like it is with human beings. When we talk to other people, we recognize their voice. It becomes really obvious, right? When we're babies, we have to learn to do that here in this world. When we're adult humans here, we have to learn to do that with the spirit world. Okay. So it will become easier and more obvious. And whenever you ask them a question, they will answer. It's just a matter of how loud is your own voice in your head versus are you allowing your conscious energy to really be able to sense them. And then eventually they can become louder with your regular senses too. Okay. Does that help? That's a fabulous question. And to all the wonderful audience here, I want to remind you, when one person has a question, I love questions. I love questions that can be both a reading and an education tool, because it's so powerful when this interaction with the other side can become a normal part of your daily life. And when you guys have questions, then those questions can actually serve everyone else listening. Okay. Okay, Alani, I know, whoops. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I know my grandma is around and she shows up as a specific bird or butterfly. She's showing up more often. What does she want me to know? Okay, well, first of all, the main thing she wants you to know, Alani, and that's a beautiful name, I hope I'm saying it correctly, is the main thing she wants you to know is that she's there and that she's okay. That is the very first thing that your loved ones always want you to know. And I get chills when I say this, and it validates for me. That is her soul literally touching me and passing through me and passing through you. If you feel chills, when you feel that, saying, yes, yes, letting me know, yeah, this is right on. This is accurate. I don't always get chills, but when it's something big and important, and the soul on the other side is just ecstatic that you've gotten the message, I just feel it. I get these chills. So the first thing is she just wants you to know that she is there, and she's there with you just as much as she was when she was here. Now she's telling me to tell you that you guys had a very close soul connection, that you were very close. Is that true? You can validate for me if you want, but that's what she's telling me. She says, tell her that, we still have that very close soul connection, and that I'm with you every single day. I'm with you every time you think of me. I'm with you every moment of every day. Now, does that mean you guys don't have your privacy? No, you can have your privacy, but it does mean that because your grandmother, like all souls who've passed over, they're outside of space and time. So she can go to any place in your life. She can go to 5 years before, she can go to 5 years after, and she can, sense where you're headed. Now, I don't actually like doing prediction readings. It doesn't mean I don't see things and they don't come in. Yes, you were close. Excellent. The reason is because you have free will. And so what they're seeing, it's outside of space and time. So let's say that your loved one is seeing something that's going to happen and they come to me and they share with me, I see this is going to happen. Okay, that is the way things are aligned in this dimension for you right now, in this strain of lifetime for you. But it does not mean that circumstances cannot shift, in which case if those were to shift, she would actually see something else. Okay. So there are times it's very important for me to answer those questions and share. But usually, when a loved one comes, they're not coming to tell you what to do or what decision to make or what you need to do. They're coming to let you know they're there and to give you love and support or to bring closure for things that were not healed. So that because her goal for you is for you to be as joyful and fulfilled and be the best version of yourself that you can be. It's not to, for any of you, if you've got loved ones that have crossed over, it's not to help you make the right choice because there is no right choice. It's for you to become the best version of you and to fulfill your version of your best reason for being here, why you chose to come, what you needed to learn to grow. And sometimes that means making choices that lead you into painful lessons. It doesn't always mean unicorns and roses, right? They just want what's best for you. Here's the other thing, Alani, is that, your grandmother, she wants me to know that she's able to see now in her, like she had her life review. She's able to see what things that she could have done differently that would have made her life more fulfilling, or that she could have been the best version of herself. And so one of the things that she wants for you is for, her to be able to pass that on and connect and support you on a daily basis so that you can go ahead and not make some of those same mistakes. So for example, let's see. She said, I understand what she is saying and my purpose and passion. Yes. Storms and rainbows. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And she tells me that you guys used to have some like philosophical heart to heart conversations. And she wants you to remember those because they last a lifetime. They weren't just for the time that she shared them with you or for those circumstances or that age of your life. They're actually ongoing. They're advice for you to take with you. They're for a lifetime. And one of those things is, live light, live lightly. Don't hang on to anything too long, right? That doesn't mean relationships or jobs or a passion. It means if something's bothering you and you're just kind of, hanging on to something that you're worried about, that you're having trouble forgetting or forgiving, let it go. Let yourself float higher, right? So that because that lightens up the energy and it allows you to invite new energy into your life. So she said, yes, I understand. I overthink a lot, then that's probably what she's referring to. Okay. And she shows me that that's something she noticed when you were young, when you were a little girl. And some of those little heart to hearts were to try to help you learn to just let go, lighten up and fly higher. I think is a great phrase for that. When you do that, what you'll find is that you're opening up energy for things to flow forward. Okay. For things to just really progress for you so that you can create change more quickly in your life. And the other thing that she shares with me too is to remember that your dreams and passions and visions aren't always going to manifest the way that you think they will. Right? So just like people might get on for a reading and they have a certain question they really want the answer to, and if the reader doesn't answer it, then they think that wasn't really their loved one or it was a terrible reading. But the truth is your grandmother, all of your loved ones know what you need, and it's not always the question you want answered, but it's the thing that will really serve you. So, you might have to, as she's sharing with me, have a little flexibility. In other words, don't get caught up in the how that that your life needs to unfold. Allow it to surprise you. Okay. And she's also asking me to, not just use her, you can use your spirit guides and your angels as well. You have a whole team with you, but also, she says you can ask for validation, right? Yeah, allow the unknown. Understand that where your vision is in the unknown. For you to fulfill the passions and dreams that you actually are carrying with you, they're going to unfold in ways that surprise you. In order for them to be the actual dreams and fulfillment that you desire, that you came for, they're not going to be in your comfort zone. We talked about the comfort zone a little last week. They're going to be outside of your comfort zone, which means they're going to be in the unknown. And it's did your grandma have a wonderful laugh? I can hear her sort of laughing with joy, going, yes, yes, just let it go and let it be. Keep your focus, but enjoy it, because the more joy you have, I feel like she had a very joyful heart. The more joy that you have, the more you are inviting that in. Okay. And that's really important. She's also showing me another, like an elderly figure with her. I don't know if that was an aunt or a great grandmother, but it's like a little lady. She's got kind of like curly, wavy white hair, standing beside her. And I also see the letter G. So I don't know if there's a person with her in spirit that you know of, that maybe it's Gertrude or I'm getting a G. I'm getting a G name, who is there with her. So I don't know if that was her great grandmother. I mean, sorry, her mother or a great aunt of yours, but she has this other little woman right there next to her. And she's saying, we're there. We're together now. We're back together. Your great grandma, yes, it starts with a G. Yes. I just get the big letter G. It's a G name, her first name, I believe, or a nickname. And she's right there to the right side of your grandmother. And they're both actually standing behind your right shoulder, like right next to you on the right hand side. And they're there with you. And she says, yeah, she's here with me too. We're here with you. We're both looking after you. Wonderful. Excellent. Well, hopefully that is validation for you that this is, your grandmother really coming through. And let's see. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, Gus. Oh, wonderful. That's wonderful. And one last thing, and then I'm going to leave her with you and move on. But she also shows me you snuggling up to something really soft and cuddly. Do you have an old blanket of hers, a quilt or something that is soft that reminds you of her when you miss her, that you hold? I see, like, from sort of your shoulders up, I just see you resting your face against a blanket, something really soft that belonged to her that she gave you. And I believe it's a quilt or a blanket. It looks very soft, so like kind of soft colors and a soft touch and feel. Do you have something like that of hers? Yes, you hold it. Okay. Well, okay. So I'm getting chills again. So this is just more validation to you, for you from her, that it really is her coming through me. So hopefully those things validate for you that it is her. And what you can do, now that we've had this, what I find is, now that I've had a reading with you, I find that when people go off, there is, remember that your grandmother came with you, right? She didn't come to me. She came through, because of her connection to you, through me with your question. And so you've had this validation now. That validation actually strengthens your ability to connect with her. So, what I would recommend is that you speak. I know you talk to her all the time, but that you really, take time to connect with her more and bring in some of your other senses and ask for validation and say, just make it really obvious. Because if you want to feel her more closely and you want to be able to ask her some of these things like you've asked me today, then it's going to be more like undeniable to you that, yeah, wow, that's really her. Okay, she's there with me. Like just 2 weeks ago, I said to my grandma, and we talk all the time. I said, okay, give me some total physical proof validation that you're there, grandma. Like, show me your birthday. And her birthday came through in a podcast I listened to. It came through on a kayak that I was riding in. I didn't realize halfway down the river, oh my gosh, that was her birthday. And it came through in like 3 other ways. So just know that you can do that and get your own validation and connections with her. I will connect with her more because I'm going to be certified in Reiki. Wonderful. That's fabulous. And I would say it's actually not because you're going to be certified in Reiki. It's because you already have a connection with her. And these are just different forms and ways in which you are, the Reiki is helping you to learn more about energy and to be, more sensitive to it, because the psychic mediumship is just about tuning into subtleties. That's all it is. So the more you do Reiki, the more you're going to be really fine-tuned about energy. And it comes in so many ways. And talking to loved ones is like being a translator, right? They all have a different way of coming in. And your grandmother wants to get to know you from the other side, right? So you knew each other before you were born. Remember, you existed before this life. So you and your grandmother and your great grandmother and your family and your close friends, they were already connected on the other side before you were born. So now that she's crossed over, she's just having to reestablish a connection with the human being that you are. Okay. And that's all you two are doing, is learning to do that. Yes. And loved ones show up in my sleep. Yes. Yes, they do. I see that. That's wonderful. Well, Lonnie, thank you again. I hope that this helped you today. I'm going to send your grandmother and great grandmother off with you, and just keep practicing. They're right with you and they love you. Okay. Thank you so much for your question. Hi, Jackie. How are you today? What is your question? What is your question, Jackie? Mm, yes. Good, Alani. Go for it. I'm so proud of you. Yes, all is well. Thank you all for saying hello. Fabulous. Let's see here. Lovely, Andrea. Let's see. Okay, so these kind of pop up pretty quick, guys. So if you have a question, I'd like you to ask a specific question if you can. I can do general readings, but these are nice and short. Hi, Jackie. So if you have a specific question for me today, since we do shorter readings on here, that would be wonderful. Do you want to know from your spirit guide or a loved one or from your angel? Would you like help connecting to your angel? Let's see. Would love a reading, please. My husband passed away suddenly and is he around me, please? Dawn. Okay, wow. I've got chills. Okay, so this is one that we need to be doing today. So yes, Dawn, absolutely. Wow, I've got chills. Wow. So actually, Dawn, first of all, yes, your husband, he's perfectly fine. He is the best version of himself. And right now, I don't know if you can feel it. If you want to take a deep breath and just close your eyes and tune out all of your other senses for a moment, I want you to feel that he actually is behind you and has his arms completely wrapped around you, with his arms on your arms, just hugging you, and his head on your shoulder, wanting you to feel him so much. So wow. Yes. Oh my gosh. So I don't normally get teary-eyed when I do these as I'm just connecting with spirit. So my emotions usually stay out of this, but boy, do I feel chills. And so when you guys find yourself, this is especially for Dawn, but for everyone who's lost a loved one, including a pet, when you feel yourself tear up, and you get chills, or maybe you don't get chills, you just start to think about the loved one and tear up, please know that that's one of the ways they're trying to get through to you. We are all electromagnetic energy that is conscious, so when your loved one departs, they are still that electromagnetic energy. When you feel the chills, or you feel um, like you feel yourself getting all teary-eyed and emotional, please know that that is your loved one in your energy field, in your auric body, your electromagnetic energetic field, and he is there. Okay. Uh, so Dawn, so I'm asking him to give me some signs to help validate that it's him that is really there. And one of the things that he is making me feel is I actually feel a real tightness in the back of my neck, and a heavy tightness all across the front of my chest, this whole part of my upper body. Um, can you validate, is that a way in which that was a part of his passing? Because I'm feeling that at the moment of his departure, it was so easy and so smooth and so comfortable. And I'm asking him where his spirit actually left his body. And he's actually saying that it came actually right up through out of his chest. So our spirit can depart in different ways. For some people it just rises up, for some people it comes up out through our head, through some people it comes out through the chest. But he's first making me feel an extreme tightness and tension all back here and across the back of my neck and shoulders, and then through the chest, like just really almost like it's like metal and tight and heavy. And he's showing me that that was a part of his avenue for departure. um did he lose what, well, I'll show you what I'll share with you what he is showing me. Is that in the moments that he departed, there were so many loved ones around him, spirit guides, relatives, ancestors. When I say ancestors, that means relatives that you did not know, that he was not here on his earth with him. So ancestors that he knew in heaven, but not here in this world, were there. And then I'm showing parental figures. So I don't know if it was grandparents or parents. Did he lose both of his parents? Because what I'm showing is side by side, he was greeted by two parental, okay, figures. And they seem rather, I mean, like young, meaning they seem as though they would have been parents. Okay. So they were there greeting him as well, the moment that he passed. Um, were you, I'm asking him where you were. Um, Okay, so there's a lot of different things coming in right now. So I'm going to sort of bounce around, and it's just to sort of give you guys validation. Did you guys have a lot of plans coming up? I see that he says, I'm not, he said there were a lot of plans in the making. So were you planning like a vacation? Were you planning to visit someone, visit a relative? So I see like a road trip. I see a vacation in the making. I see something different, that you two were planning on making some changes in your living and home arrangement situations, such as redecorating or doing some major things at home. Okay. Because what he's showing me is he just is like, has so much he wants to share all at once. So I'm trying to sort it out. Keep in mind, I have to interpret. So he has to connect with me in the way that he can. Then I have to take that frequency and I have to translate it and what it means to me. And then I have to try to share it with you. So this is why I want to make sure I'm on track. The more accurate it is, then the easier it is for him to come through. Um, but he's saying that he left you with some projects and some plans that were hanging out. You're having the kitchen redone. Okay. Yeah, because he's showing me plans to redo parts of the house. So that would have been the kitchen. And then he was also showing me that there were, you guys had plans, like you had things that you were planning on doing together. So, he says that it losing him is just sort of like, oh my God, it's like this huge giant lead weight just boom, like fell through the sky and just totally bombed your entire life. And that's how you felt. Like your life just completely like imploded. And you're feeling right now like you're at a place where you really have no idea what is going on and where to go, how to get focused, what direction to take. Um, Now I'm seeing the number 3 and the number 5 he's showing me. Is there something I'm asking him to be more specific? Is there something in regards to 5 weeks or 3 weeks or 3 months? Um, yes, he can feel that you're lost. That's the image he actually gave me was the ball dropping and you just feeling like because you thought you had this whole life. He says you thought you had this whole, all this stuff planned out with him, your whole life. You guys had long-term plans worked out and now you're feeling like it's all on you and you're going to have to do all this alone. And he's also saying he knows that the motivation, sorry if I don't look at you guys, I'm looking through my third eye at something. I'm trying to get information. He says that yeah, that even the motivation for things you guys had planned now is gone as well. um so not only do you have to get focused and carry through or complete things or change plans, but you also have to get the motivation and the drive to do it. And he's actually really concerned. He says you've really pulled inward since his passing. Um he's also showing me, and again, I'm sorry I'm bouncing around. He's giving me so many things. He's also showing me that um yeah, this threw you into having to make a lot of quick decisions. And yes, sure is you went everywhere together. Yeah, I can see that. Um okay, he says we were soulmates. We were soulmates. And so what he wants to acknowledge and recognize right now is um that you were soulmates. And so there's a difficult aspect to that and there's a positive aspect to that. Okay, I think the challenging aspect that he's feeling, that you're feeling, is um, that soul connection is so wonderful to have here in this world, to do that together within this world. And the so when we actually lose our soulmate on earth in this life, whether it be because they pass away or because they've made different life choices or whatever the case may be, where we end up not having them in our lives during this lifetime, um, once we've had that soul connection, that's very, very difficult because it's a whole different level than just having a regular attracted human to human connection, right? But the good part about this, the really powerful aspect of this that he wants to share and remind you of too, is that because you're soulmates, nothing's going to change between the souls, between your souls. He's every bit as close, if not closer, than he was when he was here. It's painful to you because you don't have him in the physical, but he wants you to know that the soul connection doesn't change, and that you also have to look forward to when you cross over. You're going to be just back together just like this. You're going to, like he wants to remind you that you know this life here is just temporary. It's a temporary experience for learning and playing and enjoying and having fun and growing as a soul. but that the real eternal life is on the other side. Okay, we can call it heaven, we can call it the whatever you guys want. I like to call it heaven because we come from there as well. Right, it's what we would term as heaven. And so it would be sort of like, he says, give you an example, please give you an example. So I don't know if he used to tell you stories, but he's like, give you an example. So an example would be like, if you went to elementary school with someone, and then you guys went somewhere different for junior high, and then you were back at the same school in high school. Okay, so he just wants you to know there's this little lapse of time now that you're not together, but it in from his perspective, now that he's crossed over, it is just the blink of an eye. Now let's see, it looks like, so you uh did you guys have a plan? Were you thinking of doing a trip to visit a relative? Was there a very close friend or a relative you guys were planning on meeting up with sometime in the near future? Because he is encouraging you to not just drop the plans. He says you might need to alter some of the things that you're doing because it might have different meaning to you now that he's gone, but he wants you to keep going because that's one of the things that's going to help you get through this difficult time. And so so he wants you to keep moving. Oh, she passed away too. Okay, got it. Okay, let me ask him. Did she have hair about this length? Was it like brown hair about here? He's showing me an image of someone with him with hair about this long, sort of like brown. Um, Looks like it's sort of parted in the middle. Was that the friend you were going to be seeing? I'm so sorry, Dawn. I'm so sorry for your loss. No, okay. There is a woman near him, next to him, and with him that has like shoulder length brown hair as well. It's straight. If you might know who that is, that's right there with him as well on the other side. Um, but he wants you to continue moving forward with maybe a different version of things that you guys had planned, but he wants you to get out and stay engaged. Your mom? Okay. Um, and then who is the D name? I'm also seeing uh, a big capital letter D. Mm, sorry, and who passed of cancer, Dawn? Someone close to you passed of cancer? Sorry, I'll wait for you to answer. I'll keep going on while you're answering. Uh, your brother. Okay. Okay, so you guys can see how I want you guys to see, because it'll work the same way for you, how these things pop up. So because it's like translating another language, what's happening is they show me different things. And so like for one person, it might come in with a letter, and for someone else, it might come in with what they passed, until next thing you know, you have validation for people on the other side that are with you. Okay. Um, so please know that he's coming through then to show you that your mom is there with him. Okay. Um, and when you are trying to feel them and connect with them and love them, please know, Dawn, it's not just like they're with you all the time. Okay. So whenever you talk to them, he can see and hear you crying. Um, I see him sitting on the corner end of the bed with you, trying to comfort you. If you feel like with him, I believe it's warm. Sometimes it's cool energy or just tingling. But if you feel a warm or tingling energy on your hand or around your shoulder. That's him putting his hand around you, his arm around you, his hand on your shoulder. Um, he seems to be a very kinesthetic soul. In other words, some souls will really try to come through by speaking to you or visually. It seems like he really likes to come through via touch. So, in hopes that you are actually going to feel him there, that probably indicates that you probably are. Oh, sorry, I rocked my table. You're probably pretty clairsentient, which means you probably feel things first. That's probably your strongest, most natural clair, because your loved ones try to come through in the way that connects to you the most, that you relate to the most. Okay. Um, all right. A couple more things because I told him I'm going to need to move on. So I want to make sure we get some important things in there. Um, are you are you dealing with some like legal or financial type issues that you're concerned about that now he's not there to handle? Because he's wanting me to tell you not to worry about the technicalities. Um, just take care of yourself first and relax, and that things are going to work themselves out. So, if in the midst of your grieving, obviously, you have a lot of other things that you have to take care of. Um, and he says that one of the things, yes, you are okay. One of the things that is stressing you out and really taking away from your ability to just focus and grieve is you feel all this pressure to not only be in the middle of things that you guys had planned, but also that there's this burden of taking care of things that are like financial or legal pressure, which is scary. He says that's just really scary. And he says there's a couple of people, he's showing me just like, two people that are going to be helping you work through the details of that. I don't know if you're aware of those people or not in your life, but he says there's two people that are going to help you work through this. And I'm seeing that he says, it may take a few months. It could take 5 or 6 months to get everything sorted, but he just wants you to relax and know that it's going to work out okay. Everything is going to work out okay. Um, I'm just getting chills here. And you're going to be fine. And it's too early for this for you, but in case I don't get to talk to you again, spirit comes through with things while there's someone here to kind of relate the information to you. Um, so whether you're ready for something or not, they will still share with me. Um, let's see. Okay, good. Your daughter, good, excellent. Um, so he also wants you to know that, you know, and again, this is too early for this, but he wants to share this with you so that you know it's okay. When the time comes, and if you want to move on and you want to, you know, invite another partner into your life, he wants you to know two things. Number one, that's okay. He's your soulmate. There isn't jealousy or hurt feelings or any of that that goes on in heaven. Okay. None of that happens. It's just unconditional love. So he wants to give you that okay because, well, right now you're not even thinking about that. As you begin to heal and you want to go back in and you're ready to really go on and live life more fully and enjoy life again, he also wants you to know that spirit has also provided other opportunities for really, truly peaceful, loving, and fulfilling partnership for you. Okay. Okay. That's fine. I understand that since he's your soulmate. Um, but he wants to share that, and you wouldn't be even thinking about that now and maybe never. But he wants you to know that even just friendships, whatever. He wants you just to be happy and to feel his love, but he also wants you to really make sure that you get out and you surround yourself with friends and loved ones, and that you feel all the love that is surrounding you, because it's going to take a little while for you to be able to fill in that hole that you're feeling right now. And what he wants you to know is that he hasn't gone anywhere. He's actually still right there with you. So all you need to do is learn to um the relationship has not ended, it has only transformed. And so now, since you already have a soulmate connection, um, it will be even easier for you to really connect with him. He has tried, he tries to come through to you in dreams. Um, he comes through to you when you are on the road, when you are walking, he's showing me, in addition to sitting on the bed. Um, He's showing me, when you're in the kitchen, like when you're cooking things. Did you guys used to cook together? You've got his ashes in the living room. Yes. And are you wondering what you need to do with those? Are you feeling stress about that? This may be a future thing that he's sharing with me, but he wants you to know that he has no attachment to his body, right? To the remains of his physical body, he has no attachment, because he says when you get to the other side, it's completely different. You're back in your spirit body, and that's his true self. So he is healthy, and he is feeling good, and he is back to the very best version of himself. And so, those ashes are for you, right? They are for you. Okay, good. Excellent. Good. So I feel I feel a lot of peace in that, in the house with you. There's a lot of love and peace there. And just know that he is with you when you're doing all those things. If you're standing in the kitchen, if you're taking a walk, if you're sitting on the bed, if you're in the car, he is absolutely there with you. And your mom is there as well. And the most important message for you to know from them is that they are there, and that they are okay, and that they can always hear you. Okay? They can always hear you. Um, do you have any other questions in regards to him before I move on? I know we only have a couple minutes left. Yes. Yep. And when you're sitting there crying, he's showing me, and you can probably feel it, his arm around you and or his hand on your hand. Okay? He's trying very, very hard to comfort you, and he understands that he can't, that this is a human thing you have to go through. He can't take away the pain. And he is so, so, so sorry that he had to depart at this time. But he wants you to also to know that there are no mistakes, and that, you know, prior to you both coming here together, your souls knew he would be departing first. He would be departing earlier. Okay? And you can't see the bigger picture of it now, but just know and trust and have faith in it all, because when he says when you get to the other side, it all makes sense. Okay? And so really what he wants to do, um and what your mom wants to do, is just to help you comfort and heal. And they're there loving you. Oh, you're so welcome, Dawn. I'm so glad. I wish you the best. And just keep talking to him. And like we discussed last week, keep asking him for signs. And he's learning right now what signs and what ways are most powerful to actually get through to you. Okay, he has to learn as a spirit and a soul how you are as a human being. He has to learn to communicate with you, just like you're having to learn to communicate and connect with him, his as just a soul, as a soul, his true self again. He's having to learn to connect with you. Tell him I love him and miss him. Sweetheart, you tell him. I want to remind you all of this. I know we only have a couple minutes, so I'm gonna close with this. And Dawn, this is specifically for you, but this is for everyone. This is why I like to not just do readings, but I like to do the education part of this. He's been a part of this conversation. The only reason I have been able to be a vehicle to speak to you for him is as a translator. So he knows that you love him and he knows that you miss him. Remember, he made me feel the heaviness in my heart. And yes, and he can hear you. And he let me feel these things. He let me feel what you were feeling, like just the whole world had imploded. Okay. And he let me feel that. So understand that he can see you, he can hear you, he can feel what you're feeling. He knows what quandaries you have. He knows what decisions you're trying to make and what struggles you have. He knows what fond memories that you have of him and how much he meant to you. Okay, so he knows all of that. And all you ever have to do is think it, feel it, speak it, and remember it. And he's right there with you. Okay, so from a communication side with spirit, spirit can receive from you much more easily than you can receive from them. It is easy for them to know how you feel, hear what you're saying, see what you're seeing, remember what you're remembering. The challenge comes in being a human being because we have our egoic veil, so we can experience with our physical senses, and our mind gets in the way. So, it's very easy. Everything you've said to me and say or feel or think about him to anyone, he knows. Okay. He's literally with you every moment. Um, and sort of like, in the movie, if you ever watched the movie Ghost, where he was able to watch her, he knew what was going on in her life, right? But it's our side that has trouble receiving the information from them and interpreting it. Okay. So always know that he can always hear, feel, see you, and knows what you want, need, and what you're asking. And here's the last thing I want to say. I know we only have like 90 seconds. Oh, you're so welcome, Dawn. I'm glad this was helpful. Just please understand that he is always, 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 always trying to respond. Okay. And so you might not be getting it, just like I don't get everything that comes in perfectly either. None of us do. But he is trying to respond to you every time. So just be open and keep trying, and you'll get good at it. Okay. You're going to be okay. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you guys all again next week. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I love you so much. Have a great week here in this fabulous group. All these readers are amazing. I love you all. Veronica, thank you for having me. And just guys, come back next week with more questions, and we'll try to get to as many as we can. I know I'm super thorough, so I'm sorry about that, but I try to get through as much as I can. All right. And I love you all so much. Veronica, thank you so much for hosting me.